Hello.
My heart breaks. It breaks. Moving on to Spider-Man: A Brand New Day, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. 4 years after No Way Home, Peter Parker devotes his life to protecting New York City as a full-time Spider-Man. But as the demands on him intensify, the pressure sparks a surprising physical evolution that threatens his existence, even as a strange new pattern of crimes gives rise to one of the most powerful threats he's ever faced. Olivia, what were your thoughts on A Brand New Day?
I loved it so much. So much.
Yeah.
We know I love Spider-Man. I have my Spider-Man tattoo. I'm a Spider-Man girl down. He's my favorite superhero by like a wide margin.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. I thought it breathed incredible new life into the franchise. I think I would say this is probably my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man, maybe tied with No Way Home. Just because it finally feels like Peter Parker has become the Spider-Man I've been waiting to see. And like for the first time, he isn't just this kid trying to like keep up with the Avengers. He's like the actual friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and like watching him swing through New York and help ordinary people and deal with problems on like a much more personal scale was exactly what I think this version of the character
street level
needed.
Spider-Man.
Yes, and I needed that.
Yeah, genuinely. Like the way in which when we watched Superman, we were like, this feels like very comic book. This was a very comic booky Spider-Man that we haven't got from John Watts in those 3 movies that he did.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And thank you, Daniel Cretton, for bringing that to us.
Straight up.
Or like Destin, my bad.
Yeah.
Destin,
I also keep thinking his name is Daniel. Yeah, I feel like it manages to feel like really refreshingly standalone while still kind of bringing in the MCU and like the larger universe. And like the larger MCU-ness of it all doesn't really feel like a distraction as much this time. And it kind of all serves Peter's story. And like, obviously I love John Bernthal. This is not news. I loved Peter's dynamic with Frank Castle. I thought it was so fun. I think they have great chemistry together. They have completely different worldviews. And I think it creates some of the movie's like funniest moments, while also leading to like some genuinely thoughtful conversations about responsibility and justice. And I honestly could have watched like hours of them two just like hanging out and like fighting. And yeah, I just thought how they introduced the Punisher was great. I feel like I didn't necessarily love or like need the Hulk situation in this movie as well. I'm Mark Ruffalo down, but I don't know how much he added to the story to me other than like
he's the science guy.
Yeah, he was.
That was essential to me because I'm like, where has he been? Where has Rashina
That's
been?
fair. I like that we got to see where he is now.
Yeah,
and like he's a professor.
Yeah, and I'll never not, say no to seeing Hulk.
So true. I personally didn't. It didn't feel as necessary to me that is like the relationship with the Punisher in terms of like what it brought to the story, but it was a fun time to see him all together. I think Tom Holland gives what I think is his best performance as Peter Parker. This version feels older.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah. He's more confident.
Yeah.
He's more emotionally grounded without kind of losing some of that awkward charm that like makes him so lovable. When he's like looking at MJ from across the room, hello.
My heart breaks. It breaks.
And like when he was like shirtless with just the Spidey mask on in the bath, I was like, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Tom Holland,
when he
I
fell
see you
in his underwear down out of the web.
Hashtag noticing,
Yeah. I be noticing. Yeah, he looks great and is great in this movie. I think it struck a really nice balance where it feels more mature than the previous outings in the franchise, but also never loses like the sense of fun and optimism and silliness that I think Spider-Man should have. I think Sadie Sink, or spoiler alert.
Sadie Sink is in this movie because she obviously people know that she is part of the press tour, but we're about to reveal who she is. So if you haven't watched Brand New Day, probably pause or skip, or actually no, skip. I think this whole part just skip and come back when you've watched the movie. Continue.
Yes. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey,
Mm-hmm.
I think makes for an interesting antagonist.
Yeah.
I liked the direction they took her. And she feels like a villain whose motivations like actually matter beyond simply like being someone for Spider-Man to punch. That said, I do feel personally as if she was the weakest part of the film. Not because she's bad. Like I thought Sadie Sink did actually a great job. I just was like found myself so much more invested in Peter's journey and the kind of the emotional threads involving MJ and Ned.
Mm-hmm.
And like it became less important to me over time. Like I kind of didn't like, I don't know. It became like a B plot almost more for me in what was going on.
For sure.
And like their relationship continues to be like the emotional heart of this movie or like and these movies in general. And so I really liked seeing how Peter navigated this new chapter in his life. And I don't know, it kind of just felt like there was maybe a little bit too much going on with the Jean Grey edition, because it also like introduces a whole new subsect of X-Men and this whole new era, I guess. But I thought Sadie Sink actually did a wonderful job. I kind of wish they explored her relationship with her sister more and we got to hear more about the sister. Like that might
beyond that one scene.
Yeah, the one scene. Like maybe that would have made me more invested in the character a bit more. But yeah, that was probably my major flaw with the movie, I would say. Opposite to that, one thing that completely blew me away, and maybe it's just me, and it's a random thing to obsess over, but the spider suit was real. And I cannot tell you how happy I was when they used a real practical suit instead of relying on CGI. Like seeing the wrinkles in the fabric, the way it stretches and folds.
His jaw ears, moving.
His eyes in the mask.
Eyes, yeah.
You can see his eyes through the mask. And like there's so many close-up shots in this movie, so you get to like it. He feels tangible and like real. And like the way he like whips off the mask, I feel like every other movie where he's done that, he's been like really far away, and it's so noticeably not real. And it's just like it's a small detail, although I know it adds like a lot more complexity like on a production side, but it just adds so much weight and personality to every scene. And like the CGI enhancements that I'm assuming they do like blend really seamlessly with the practical suit. And it's easily the best that the costume has ever looked in the MCU. Like it made me so happy. I also loved the action. The swinging sequences had so much energy and speed, and every fight feels like incredibly well choreographed without becoming too overwhelming. Like my favorite fight sequence was the no mask Spidey versus the Hand near the end. It was just really well made. Just incredibly well choreographed, well shot. It was just like a really great sequence. I kind of wish the Hand like wasn't used as much in the marketing, seeing as it was like literally just that one scene. But I get like why they couldn't show like Jean Grey.
But it's also like the most pivotal moment, I think, for the character.
Yeah.
Because that's when he's really coming into his own as Spider-Man. And especially when that moment where he does lose his mask and is Peter Parker is Peter Parker as much as he is Spider-Man in that scene, which is one of the things that I loved about this movie is his like almost coming of age story.
Yes,
I will see a coming of age in anything, honey. But this more so than any of his other movies. And so yeah, I agree. Like it was a bit weird seeing that just that one scene that they were in, but it is kind of like the most important one.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, this movie just reminded me like why I fell in love with Spider-Man in the first place. Like just captures like the humanity of Peter Parker as well as the spectacle of Spider-Man, and it's funny and heartfelt and exciting and full of like genuine character moments that let Peter grow without ever forgetting that like beneath the mask is literally just like a kid like trying to do the right thing. And it feels like a really exciting fresh start for both Spider-Man and the MCU. Like I still don't have a lot of faith in the MCU in terms of like what they're churning out.
Only when it comes to like Spider-Man.
I know, and like what they're just they played a trailer for Doomsday before, and I was like, bro, I actually do not want to watch this. Like, it looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there opening weekend in Forge.
Yeah, But I had tons of fun when I was at the movie theater by myself watching it. I was like, oh my God, I feel so weirdly nostalgic because I saw Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017 by myself. It was the first movie I ever saw in a theater by myself.
Oh my God.
And like, I remember it so vividly because I'm like, none of my friends want to go see this.
Yeah,
So
I feel like everyone always remembers that first solo movie because it is such a brave thing to do.
Yeah. Because you're like, everyone's going to see me and think it's so embarrassing that I'm here alone.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's so cute. I love that you had that moment.
Yeah. So me walking into the Cineplex in Nova Scotia and watching Spider-Man Homecoming by myself. To me, now 26 years old, watching Spider-Man and Brand New Day by myself at the ScreenX Scotiabank Theater in Toronto.
I need to watch it in ScreenX.
It was fun. And they're bringing it to IMAX as well in a couple weeks.
I think I want to see it in Screen. I'll see it 2 more times. I'll see it in both.
It was filmed in ScreenX, so there are a lot of sequences that actually look really good in ScreenX. It's kind of disorienting, but I'm pretty excited to see it again, hopefully in IMAX. But yeah, what did you think? I mean, we kind of talk back and forth, but
yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, let's start off with Tom Holland. Like, you're right, he is easily the best he's ever been in this movie. It just like he feels like finally a complete package, and he's funny when he needs to be. He's like, obviously this movie deals with a lot of loneliness and a sort of grief in a way because he doesn't have anyone around him. I mean, he feels very alone. So like even in those quieter moments, like you can see him just carrying that weight, and I really like felt for him because it's like it's a residual loneliness from like No Way Home that you think is going to be resolved in this movie. And spoiler alert, it doesn't really, which
it starts kind of,
but
like him saying Peter.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like the full like I remember you again. That's what I think I was kind of hoping for. But even if it didn't deliver on that front, I still found it very meaningful and interesting in the ways that we are going to see this play out, hopefully in the long run. Please, Tom Holland, come back for Spider-Man 5. Like, I have more to say on that later. But yeah, you can just see how Peter is isolated in this movie, and I feel like Tom just really sells every moment of it. John Bernthal is someone who, I mean, I don't really know him much as the Punisher because I haven't watched any of the shows that he's in, but to me, like, he almost steals the movie. Him and Spider-Man bouncing off each other is such a fun pairing. This whole situation that happened on Staten Island, they are just like complete opposites. Like Peter believes there's like one way of doing things. Frank believes there's the other way, which creates like really funny moments between them, but also genuinely like interesting conversations. And then there's Sadie Sink, who I think Marvel absolutely cooked with the casting of Jean Grey. I love Sophie Turner. Her Jean Grey was fine. It wasn't like the greatest thing, but I feel like Sadie Sink kind of like really captures her in a way that I don't think Sophie Turner could have. And I'm not even interested in X-Men like that, but I feel like I will start paying attention now, especially because like Samara Weaving has been cast for someone, Emma Frost. Right? Or something like that. And then Kaylee Spaney as Rogue.
Or Rogue?
Rogue. And then Jamie Lawson maybe ? As Storm, which hands down will be seated for actually.
And people are fan casting Cooper Hoffman as Cyclops.
Now, how do you feel about that?
I would love that. I would eat Cooper in anything.
But he wouldn't be the Cooper Hoffman we know and love.
No, you're right. And I kind of feel like he'd have to like do this.
Yeah.
He was like, that would be exciting. Like, it's not happening. But
well, I mean, David Johnson was saying the same thing about being Black Panther, so you never know.
I would eat it up.
When it comes to this movie, I feel like Destin Cretton has to be given a lot of credit because it really does feel different from the previous MCU movies in a really good way. We still got the big action sequences that make an MCU movie really entertaining and in Spider-Man in general, but like we get some like incredible, like you said, web swinging scenes through the city, which make it feel very real, and some really creative fight choreography as well. Many of them happen on the street with like regular people because Jean Grey is doing this like mind hop thing. That one scene on the street with this random guy. Like he ate up his one scene. He said, "I'm gonna make my minute count."
Yes, he was
And
good.
he did. I was frightened.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it so much. But yeah, moments like that where it's like you can see that Peter doesn't want to hurt these people because they're actual civilians, but you know that there's a villain inside them. Like it just like I was obsessed with it. It just never felt like it was overshadowing Peter in any way. Even with like the Hulk, Punisher, Jean Grey, all these characters that like really deserve their own moment, and they did. It just doesn't feel like these characters showing up like deters from Peter's story, and that's something that I feel like Marvel has not been able to do quite well recently. I guess my one like really big complaint is because the started off really strong and the end is really strong. Somewhere along the way, it kind of feels very not muddled, but like the pacing, you start to feel the 2.5 hour
it drags a bit in the
movie.
middle.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's keep this going. But once you do like get that final push to the final third, it's like that's where the movie really shines, and I think the ending is really earned. What I love most about this movie is that it actually feels like a Spider-Man movie again. It's just about loneliness and responsibility and sacrifice, and like Peter has literally lost everyone from No Way Home, and the movie doesn't skip over that in any way. Like it actually lets you sit in it with him as he goes through the motions of what that means for him moving forward. There's this really cool contrast between Peter and Frank. Frank's, saying the world's brutal and you have to be brutal back and you have to be like a hard ass. And there's something about Peter Parker's essential core that's like, well, I can't let that happen to me. And he like is holding on to that hope that he's always had and refuses to lose that hope, even if it costs him his life, which it almost did.
Yeah.
And that was scary.
It's very much giving Daredevil Punisher relationship because it's very similar. Unlike Punisher, like John Bernthal's or Frank Castle is in Daredevil a lot more than he is in other stuff. And I never fully watched Punisher show, but I watched Daredevil all the way through, and their relationship is very similar in terms of like Matt Murdock is like a bit more of an optimist. He like believes in justice. He never kills anyone. He like just maims and hurts them.
Oh,
but like
really?
Frank's always like shoot them right now, like just kill them.
Yeah.
So the relationship reminded me a lot of him and Matt's.
Oh, well then, yeah, I love that. And then it also reminded me of Raimi's like movies. The first half, especially, just like Peter like struggling to survive his everyday life. That's what Spider-Man is about. Like he is the people's superhero,
princess,
and the people's princess. Yes,
yeah.
But it felt very grounded in reality, in a way that the first three haven't been. Not discrediting the first three; they're still great movies, but I just feel like you said, it feels more mature and well thought out than other ones.
Well, especially because he's like getting used to like the spider within, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this development of spider evolution in him. And like I love that he kind of references Peter too. He was like, Peter too had webs that came out of him. Like, he was a cool guy. But yeah, it was, I did not expect that, I guess.
Not at all.
For him to change into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I was talking to my siblings who watched it yesterday. I thought it was very cool that this is the route they decided to go down for the fourth movie, because I feel like you've done everything, right? You've done the travel abroad, you've done the whole like being a kid without their mentor. Where do you take this character next? And it's like, well, the one thing we haven't seen is the whole transitioning. That like I feel like I was kind of one of the people that complained when we got Homecoming. Was like, well, we didn't see the whole the origin of like what it felt like for this character to become Spider-Man. And so to have it be the fourth movie when he's gone through so much pain, but it's also done in a way that's really unique, that like does not copy the first or second Peter Parker's, I loved. And it like kind of mirrored his transition from being this like young boy to turning into a man, and seeing how he was from high school to a young adult. It's like in their 22, 23. Was very interesting and well thought out. Peter reconnecting with MJ and Ed. Like you said, I think it was kind of the best part of this movie and why it works so well, because this trio means so much to me, like so much. And to see them in that one scene, even though it was like sad that like they didn't really remember him to the extent that I wanted them to, were they were building the start with Lego, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was like, that is such a great callback. And you have MJ, who I don't think she has drawn anything since the first movie. Is back
No.
to her roots as someone who is an artiste. She's drawing them, and it's really sweet. And yeah, I think the action is awesome. The emotional moments genuinely hit, and Tom Holland gives a really good performance. And I think overall, more than anything, this is like a great continuation of Spider-Man's journey, of Tom Holland's Spider-Man's journey. And it is heartbreaking and hopeful and really sweet. Definitely one of my favorite MCU movies of recent times. Yeah, because they have not really made great ones or ones that I'm like interested in. Besides Thunderbolts, I feel like these two
Yeah, same.
are pretty much the only two that I can remember that I'm like, okay, the MCU's kind of cooking, and then they release something or a TV show that I'm like not really messing with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very hopeful, but I don't know if Tom Holland's returning. I would like for him to, but when that whole like Spider-Man will return, it didn't say in what movie. So that was my first thing. I was like, okay, I'm scared. And then second of
From
all, Spider-Man is he just the character or like the actor as well? So that's why I don't.
I feel like you cannot they wouldn't replace him. Or like they wouldn't like only show him in the costume. I feel like they would have to show him at least a little bit.
Yeah,
Even if
I
but I
know.
think it's gonna be from what I've been reading online,
Hmm.
the post credit scene of like the map
Yeah,
beeping in space, people think he's coming back in Avengers Secret Wars.
right.
Because that's apparently in space.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I'm
that's
not
like still
excited for this
several
movie.
years.
Yeah, that's literally no. That's gonna be next year, December.
Really? It's only a year
Apparently,
later.
they're releasing it a year after, like they
That
did. I
is
think they did
fucked.
with. Yeah, I know. But he's also been Tom Holland has been campaigning for live action Miles Morales, which is like
Hell
so
yeah.
good to hear. Even though Miles Morales kind of already has the best Spider-Man movies
Totally
with
agree.
the animated, I'm really excited to see him because he really wants to be that kind of Tony Stark mentor s that he
Mhm.
was that
I would eat it
RDJ
up.
was for him, and I think that would be really sweet. And I just love that he's been campaigning for it, and hopefully he gets his wish because I would love to see him in that role. And I think it would also help his career because we do still see him as like that young boy almost. And I think having someone to pass down his wisdom to would maybe help him break out of his shell and get to see him in a new light. I think I love Tom Holland playing Peter Parker. It feels very nostalgic in a way, even though I think I'm a thousands baby. So technically I've grown up on Tobey Maguire, but I wasn't really tuned in to superhero movies until
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
grew up with Andrew Garfield, technically,
yeah,
I would say.
yeah, same. And so Andrew's like my perfect Peter and Spider-Man, but like Tom Holland is. I've been there
Yeah.
from the start. Been there from the start, and I've seen his progression. I'm just like really now with hopefully Destin at the helm for whatever happens next to Peter Parker. I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm all in.
I think Toby is a perfect Spider-Man, and I think Andrew is a perfect Peter Parker, to be honest. I love Andrew's Peter Parker. I have this on my hinge of like, here's my who do you think is the best Spider-Man? And I get a lot
Mm,
of conflicting reports from
really?
people.
Mm,
And I think Andrew is a great Peter Parker because he's like not just like a nerd, he's kind of like a loner, like an
yeah,
isolated kind of loner. And like he's a skateboarder, and I feel like skateboarders that like are meant to be like people think they're cool, but like at the end of the day, I feel like
they're outcasts. Yeah.
skateboarders were like an outcast type of person,
Hmm.
and he like tends to self isolate because he kind of like instigates fights and then isolates himself and like
Yeah.
never really puts himself out there. And I think it makes it for a really interesting Peter Parker. Those movies like aren't as good, but and like Toby's movies, like Spider-Man
Don't
2 to
say
me is like
anything about the amazing
I
Spider-Man.
love them. Like they're fun
Please.
as heck. The
Yeah.
second one's not quite as good, but Spider-Man 2, like with Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, like to me is
Hmm.
the best live action
I
Spider-Man.
have to revisit these movies.
It's
Truly,
so good. And like they just have like a charm to them that like is hard to replace. And like to me, like we know that Into Spider-Verse is my favorite movie of all time, so that's perfect. But I just think I was comparing Tom Holland Spider-Man so much to Andrew and Toby that I kind of forgot to see them as like standalone films. And I think rewatching them like in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, these were like fun. And he's actually a really good Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I just think he makes for a better Peter sometimes.
100%.
And except for this movie has maybe changed my mind.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's your ranking of Tom Holland Spider-Man movies?
I would probably do I'd probably do No Way Home, Brand New Day, Homecoming, Far From Home.
Damn.
What about
Far
you?
From Home, just like that.
Yeah, sorry,
I mean,
girl.
it's not far off from what I was gonna say. Brand New Day, No Way Home. Oh, but No Way Home I love. No, okay, No Way Home, Brand New Day. Oh, Far From Home, Homecoming.
Okay, so we just switched the last two.
Yeah. Oh, No Way Home's your top one. Sorry, I thought it was
Yeah, I would
Brand New
say
Day.
No Way Home. Yeah, No Way Home, Brand New Day,
Homecoming, and that
Homecoming, Far From
Yeah.
Home.
Okay, yeah, we switched the last two.
Yeah.
Love.